What do you say? What do you know, stupids? Welcome to the first official filming of the BubCast. We appreciate the patience. Like, subscribe, and follow our accounts. They're all three right here. We've got our YouTube, our Twitter, and our Instagram. Give a like, give a follow. We're on Twitter heavily. This will be the first video we upload tonight. As soon as we get finishing, and our Instagram, we're just posting random. And we have a TikTok. I'll get the TikTok out to everybody, but appreciate the follow and the patience. So let's go ahead and get this started. First episode, we're going to preview the college football season. So we've got some big news all the way throughout the season. We've got some headlines. We've got new teams and new conferences. We've got great matchups. So what looks like this is each week we'll preview the upcoming games, and I'll predict and tell you who's going to win what. And we'll kind of get some polls out there and kind of get some stuff going to see what do we think is going to happen with the upcoming weeks. So we'll preview week 0 tonight. We'll go over my Heisman winner prediction. We'll also go over my Final Four. I'll tell you my title game, who's going to win. We're also going to go over conference champs. And I'm just going to give you everything I need to give you to predict for the upcoming season. So we'll go ahead and start there. We'll start with some news. The Big 12 has got 4 new teams. They got UCF, BYU, Houston, and Cincy. Those 4 teams, they're all kind of spread out coming from wherever. I don't see either one of them really being a threat. I really think that BYU or Houston will have the better year out of those 4 teams. I think UCF and Cincy is going to struggle hard because both those teams coming out of those conferences where it's really not much to compare to the conference they're in now. So I have BYU winning like 6 games this year, like 4 in conference play. So not horrible, but we'll see how they do. Big 12 has got 16 teams, so it's going to be crazy for the Big 12. And no division, so the top 2 teams will get in. I'll go over who I think is going to win each conference. But yeah, just look out for us on each week. We'll be previewing college football, and then here in a couple weeks we'll be previewing all the NFL games. So I'll give you the NFL updates, and I'll predict everything in the NFL. I'll predict all the major awards, and then each week. So my goal is to have a video out each week to preview the upcoming college football games, and then the NFL games. We'll talk fantasy. I'm in like 3 fantasy leagues, so we'll talk fantasy. I'll give you all some advice. We'll start shooting polls out and getting stuff ready. So I'm excited. Again, thanks for the patience. This took a lot longer than anticipated, but you can't rush perfection. So let's go and get this started. So Saturday, August 26th starts the season. So we got Navy versus Notre Dame in Dublin. That's going to be a great game, Dublin, Ireland. Notre Dame is a 20.5 point favorite. I'm hitting that hard. I'll take them to win that game. I don't think Navy's going to be able to challenge Notre Dame with anything. And they're in Ireland, so I think Notre Dame handles that easily. We got UTEP versus Jacksonville State. UTEP's on -1. They're a 1-point favorite. That's gonna be a good game. UTEP, they're gonna do their thing, and Jacksonville State, they're coming out of the Conference USA for the first year. So this is their first time in Conference USA. That could be a toss-up. I'm gonna go UTEP, but I think Jacksonville State's gonna fit really well in the Conference USA. We got UMass and New Mexico State. UMass, no offense to any UMass people out there, but their football team is horrible. New Mexico State should win by, it's -8. They should win by double digits easily. First upset of the year. Chalk this one up. I got Ohio versus San Diego State University. I got Ohio at +3.5. I think Ohio is going to upset on the road in San Diego State and put Ohio on the map for the Ohio Bobcats first upset. I got Hawaii, who travels all the time. They're probably putting in thousands of miles against Vandy. Vandy's a 17 point favorite. I'll hammer Vandy. I think Vandy's going to blow them out of the water. Vandy may not be able to handle the SEC stuff, but they'll be able to handle Hawaii. I got San Jose State and USC. USC is my pick to win the Pac-12. They're -30. They should cover, but I'm going USC -30. FIU and Louisiana Tech. FIU, I believe is in the Conference USA now. Could be wrong. And then Louisiana Tech is one of the favorites in Conference USA. So FIU at +10. So I have FIU at +10. I have FIU beating Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech is the one of the players that is ready to go. Louisiana Tech is people's favorites to win Conference USA preseason. So that's crazy. So I have FIU by +10. So that's another upset. So we'll go ahead and toss those 2. So those are Saturday, August 26th. Those are the week 0, as they say in college football world games. Not really many to watch. If I gave y'all recommendations to watch, I'd watch Ohio, San Diego State. That's probably a late kickoff because they're out in San Diego. And then I'd probably watch Navy Notre Dame. I mean, obviously that's going to be like the one everyone watches in Ireland. ABC, I think at 3 o'clock kickoff. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. Yeah, that's kind of the ones you have watching. But, you know, it's college football, so if you can watch them all, watch them all. Stream them, watch them. Conversation to talk about. So, right up my upset is Ohio at +3.5. And we'll talk about some Thursday, August 31st games. So this is still considered week 0. So this has got a couple more games. Not really anything off the chain. Alon versus Wake Forest. I'm taking Wake Forest money line. There's no line for that game yet, but Wake Forest money line. Kent State versus UCF. I really want Kent State to win just to knock UCF out, but I don't think it's happening. Kent State's coming to Orlando, so I think we're UCF money line. Rhode Island versus Georgia Southern University. A no-name game, to be honest. Week 0 has a lot of scrub matchups, but we're going to talk about everybody. We're including everybody. So this is FBS games and top 25, so we're including the whole shebang bang. So we'll talk Rhode Island football all the way up to USC football. So, you know, we're trying to keep everyone involved here. I got Georgia Southern money line. So we have St. Francis and then Western Michigan. I got Western Michigan. Western Michigan, you know, they'll probably be a 500 team in the MAC, but I'll roll with them. You know, why not? Roll the dice. NC State and UConn, again, talking about terrible teams. UConn will probably win 1 game, 2 games if they're lucky. So I got NC State on -15. Florida and Utah. So Florida's a real up-in-the-air team. People aren't sure what they're going to get. They lost starting quarterback. He is now the Colts quarterback. His name is evading me. This is the first episode, so just catch me some break. I'll do a little more studying next time. So we're not really expecting what to see with Florida. I think Florida can easily win 6 to 7 games. I don't see them winning games that they're not supposed to win. I don't see them beating Georgia. I don't see them beating LSU, and I don't see them beating FSU. But they can win some games and you know, kind of get that process. And they can also come out and surprise people. But I have Florida beating Utah, and not only beating them, but I have the money line at +7. So that's another upset I have. So we'll see what they can do and how they handle Utah. Big Ten matchup: Nebraska versus Minnesota. Nebraska is on the rebuild. I'm not sure what they're going to be, what they're doing. Minnesota's a middle line Big Ten team. They're right down the middle, so you have them right where they need to be. I have Minnesota at -7.5. South Dakota versus Mizzou. Mizzou, bottom of the barrel SEC team, but you know, South Dakota money line. Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's a long one. Versus Tulsa. I'm taking Tulsa. That'll be the first and probably one time I take Tulsa money line. We got some NC AT&T and versus UAB. I got UAB money line. I think UAB is a good program. I don't really watch much NCAT, but we'll see what happens. I got UAB. Southern Utah versus Arizona State. Arizona State money line. Just, you know, kind of a coin flip. I mean, it's week 0. Not much knowledge of a lot of these games, but we're previewing them all. I have my predictions up on Twitter. Let me know what you think. I'm going to start doing polls and kind of go through everything and see what we think. So those are the games. Those are the week 0 games. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Got 18 games. So we got 18 games between Saturday, August 26th and Thursday, August 31st. So not a bad slate of games. Week 1 we will preview in our next video. We'll also have an NFL video coming out that same time, so we'll preview both. So let's talk some conferences. I'm really excited for Big 12. I think Texas and Oklahoma are going to see what they can do. Won last year in the Big 12 before they go to the SEC next year. I want to see what they can do. I want to see what Texas can do with Quinn at their quarterback, and kind of see what they got to do. They played Bama, I believe, week 3 or week 2 in Alabama. So that's going to be crazy. They played them well last year. You know, a few hiccups here and there cost them the game, but they're playing them again. So let's see kind of like what they're looking at, what they're doing. Texas winning that division conference. I think Texas is going to have a hard time against Bama. But other than that, I think they should win most of those games. TCU is not nearly as good as they were last year. They lost a lot of guys, but I still think TCU will give people a good competition in the Big 12. But I have Texas winning that. Texas should win that wholeheartedly. I just think Texas is an all-around good team, but there's Big 12 teams that could contest, and there's tough games. TCU has TCU has 3 of their tougher games, but they're at home. But the Big 12, every week, once you start conference play with how many teams there are, you're going to have tough matchups. So they play the first 3 weeks, cupcakes, and then they go into conference play. Those aren't easy games. So, losing one is already like tip of the hat to you, but you lose 2, 3, that's where it comes to the point where we got to separate the pack. I think Texas will lose a couple. I think one will be at Bama, and then one will be a Big 12 opponent. I don't think they're gonna win every single game in the Big 12, but they'll definitely, that Bama game is just so tough. But they'll lose definitely one game in the Big 12. ACC. This is going to be my favorite divided conference. I'm probably going to start a lot of riots, but I think FSU will beat Clemson. I think FSU will win that conference this year. It's stronger than what it used to be. It used to be Clemson and everybody else. UNC's good. Clemson's good. FSU's good. Duke could win a few games. Virginia Tech. This is not a normal conference that it once was. So I'm excited for the ACC. So we'll see how that goes. The Big Ten, a little biased as you can see. OHIO. Ohio State's gonna win that division. That conference, keep saying division. They'll beat Wisconsin. I really hope that they can beat Michigan this year, because all of a sudden it used to be we were their big brother, and now we're to the point where can we even beat them? And it's in Ann Arbor, so that's going to be a real tough matchup. But we'll see how that goes. And then Big Ten's going to be crazy, because we're getting some teams. Next year we're getting USC and UCLA. Penn State's tough. Penn State comes to Columbus, so that's good for us. But they're still tough matchups. We would play Wisconsin twice if we beat them, if we play them in the Big Ten tourney. So that'll be insane. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to college football in general. So let me know what you think on Twitter, social media, if I'm wrong, right, crazy, right. I want to know what y'all think. I'm going to be posting a lot more on Twitter tonight, getting some stuff out there. Upload the video on YouTube. Make sure you watch, subscribe. Pac-12, I think USC runs away with that. I think there's going to be some teams that give them trouble. I think Washington, Oregon State are going to give them a run. Same thing as the Big 12. The Big 12 has so many teams that when you start getting into conference play, each week is tough. USC has to play Washington, Oregon State. Going to Oregon, that's tough. UCLA, that's a rivalry game. So there's going to be some games that in the Pac-12 and the Big 12 where there's so many teams that, it's not going to be like it normally was when you're going, Tulsa, Kansas, that type of thing. Texas will beat Kansas State. Ohio State will beat Wisconsin. USC will beat Washington, and FSU will beat Clemson. And Bama will beat Georgia. So I already uploaded on a previous tweet my conference champs. I previewed what team would have surprising wins and what team would be bottom of the barrel wins. So let me know what you think. Would love comments. Let me know what you think about all that. So appreciate that. My Heisman. Right now, the 5 Heisman finalists based from Caesars. Caleb Williams at plus 500, which if he went back to back, that'd be crazy. But I mean, he went for like 46 touchdowns last year, which was nuts. I'm gonna probably butcher his last name, but Drake May is plus 1,000. Jordan Travis from FSU is plus 1,100. Jaden Daniels from LSU, who was my pick. And Quinn Flowers was plus 1,200. I think Jaden Daniels is going to get it. I think I really want my dog Marvin Harrison Jr. to get it, but it's a murder conversation. We're going to get to what people think I'm a cuckoo bird for saying. So my final 4. Now, mind you, this is so hard because 4 of these teams, it could be drastically changed, because my SEC team could get bumped and replaced by another SEC team. So, like, hypothetically, if I have Bama and then Bama beat Georgia, but Georgia could beat Bama and vice versa, it could switch. So it's not set in stone, but I need a prediction. I want y'all to know what my predictions are. But understand that it could have gone either way. Same thing with my Big Ten teams. One game can just flippy-floppy. So I got Bama at 1, Ohio State at 2, Georgia at 3, and USC at 4. So based on that, I have Bama winning it outright and then winning either with one loss and then winning the big SEC, and beating Georgia, and hence Georgia at 3. Now, mind you, that can go either way. Georgia could beat Bama and go undefeated and win and be 1-3. If Bama has one loss, they're getting in. They're one loss in the SEC, and then technically be 2 losses. If they have 2 losses, and one loss is losing the SEC championship, I can see them getting in. I know the 2 losses is never a good thing, but I don't see Georgia and Bama being undefeated going into that game. I just see that there's going to be a game up on the road. It's the SEC. It's the doghouse. With Ohio State. Could be biased, could not be. I'm betting all my money that they beat Michigan and go into the Big Ten championship and win. So they're going to finish the year 12-0, 13-0, and do that. Again, that could switch. They could lose to Michigan and then not play in the Big Ten, but have one loss and still get in. So that's that it can go either way. So I have probably Michigan at 5. It could go either way. They lose that game, they have one loss, and they may still get in. And it all depends on the play. Like USC helped us get in last year because they ended up losing and pieces fell into place and everything else. So you kind of just got to go from there. Georgia at 3. I have them winning everything except the SEC championship games. So they're not going to not get in with one loss. And then I have USC. I think USC would have gotten in last year, minus a few injuries, plays, that type of thing. So I have USC getting in. I think they have some tough games in the Pac-12, but again, I think they'll do just enough to get in and be the last 4 over like a 2-loss Wisconsin, 3-loss Wisconsin, 1-loss Ohio, 1-loss Michigan, that type of thing. Because with the Big Ten, if whoever doesn't get in, the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game, loser doesn't play for the championship. So Ohio State could win the championship and get in. Wisconsin could lose and get in. It's all it's not like USC it's not like a 1-loss Michigan team with no championship play at all, no loss, no win, versus a USC 2-loss champion. So it's the conference championship does weigh heavy. So we'll have to see on how that goes. But USC could go in there with 2 losses and do what they need to do and get in and win the Pac-12. So do I think they all need to win the championship? No, because I think one of the SEC schools isn't going to win the conference championship and get in. I don't think 2 Big Ten teams are going to get in. I think the winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game, and if they win the conference championship, they'll get in, but they're not going to get in next year. Now, when the field expands, that's where that pieces fall into place. But right now, you're probably going to have 3 teams that are going to win their division, and then the one loser out of the SEC. So, in my title game, I have Bama 38, Ohio State 41. I think Ryan Day is on the edge of just getting to that point, and I think last year worth letting Georgia get back into that game and take that game from them, because unbiased, let's talk seriousness, that game was away. Marvin Harrison Jr. gets knocked out of the game. That was an Ohio State game to win, and we handed it to Georgia. The Bulldogs were champs, I get it. But yeah, I think Ryan Day's got that in the back of his mind, and he's using that as motivation. I think they get over 2 humps, they get over the Michigan hump, and they get over the national championship. So hopefully I'll have a new hat on a updated desk here down the line. So that's kind of a preview of what I have. When you watch this video tonight, subscribe, give us your feedbacks. Love conversation on Twitter. That's where I'm always at. So would love to respond to comments on Twitter. Let me know what you think, how you felt. Remember, all of our stuff's right here. We got our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. It's easier for me to just display this than say it wrong. So let's go cheek sponge trash of the week. This is a tough one because nothing's really going on in the sports world. I might have to put, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Man, that's tough. Normally every week we're gonna do a cheek sponge trash. I don't know. I don't want to say. This will be the first one. We'll start off with Women's World Cup. USA, cheek sponge trash of the week. I know it happened weeks ago, but they were favorites. I watched that, but I got disappointed in them. But Spain ended up winning it this morning. So shout out to Spain for winning the first ever World Cup. Hate to put the women's United States team on a cheek sponge trash of the week, but that's kind of just off the cusp what I thought. So again, appreciate the patience. looking to get this stuff started. I enjoy talking sports, so appreciate this, and let's see what you all can do, and we'll have some conversation here on Twitter. Remember, give us a follow on YouTube at the BubCast, Twitter at the BubCast _, and Instagram at BubCast Official. We have a TikTok. I'll be getting the TikTok link out on Twitter tonight. So appreciate it. What do you say? What do you know? Stupid. Signing off. First episode.